Hi, this is a brief presentation just reminding everyone about the new SLO assessment process that we instituted in fall of 2018. So just to recap quickly, the process that we had, insofar as we shared a process prior to fall of 18, wasn't hugely popular. So here's what we didn't like. We didn't know how to use TrackDat. We spent a long time gathering data. The process that most of us followed, and we followed different ones, but for the most of us, didn't really tell us anything we didn't know about student learning, which is a problem. Most of us also had a way of doing SLOs that didn't really promote any kind of collaboration or robust discussions about student learning. And above all, we didn't really have a process that helped us tackle important issues in student learning. The goal of SLO assessment is to do something about student learning. We did want some things out of an SLO assessment process. We wanted, first of all, more freedom to prioritize. We wanted to be able to identify the problems that were really sticking out to us and deal with them, rather than be locked into gathering data on outcomes just because it was their turn. And we also wanted more support for those discussions, and especially interdisciplinary collaborations, because about half of the departments at CSM are 1- and 2-person departments. And so there's an appetite for an opportunity to get together with other people and talk about student learning in a broad kind of way. So come fall of 18, we instituted a new look to our SLO requirement. Now the new look still retains some basic features, and the first important thing to remember is that SLOs are not going away. Every learning path, for want of a better word, a course, a degree, a certificate, and a general education transfer pattern, that you'd take at the institution, or a service interaction, a workshop, say, where students are supposed to learn something. Anything like that needs to have a defined learning outcome. Also not going away is the need to align these outcomes. The idea that the SLO process is supposed to create an opportunity for us to see our learning in context and to make sure that we're doing what we can for the students' learning experience to be reasonably coherent. We need to align course outcomes to program outcomes. So here, for instance, is accounting. The AA in accounting has 2 outcomes. Students can understand accounting and prepare financial statements, and students can use QuickBooks. And here are some courses whose outcomes support this first program outcome. Here are a couple of courses whose outcomes support the second one. Here's a course whose outcomes support both. But this exercise is very helpful, and this is something we all worked on in spring of 18. This is very helpful to just make sure that your course is coherent, your degree or certificate program. It's especially helpful to look at the outcomes of courses not in your discipline. And most of us who offer a degree or certificate include courses as part of that, whether required or elective, which are offered by another discipline, and thus they may have changed. The outcomes may no longer suit our purposes, so it's a good exercise in coherence. We also need to align the course outcomes with our institution or general education outcomes, the same package. Faculty have defined 6 learning outcomes, that is to say 6 sets of knowledge, skills, or abilities that we want students to take away certainly from a general education pattern, but also from other interactions with the college. Here are 2 of the 6, effective communication and ethical reasoning and effective citizenship. And here are some courses which support effective communication. There are outcomes in each of these courses, often around student presentations or essays or explanations, which develop their students' effective communication. There are outcomes in these courses that support ethical reasoning. I'm actually guessing about philosophy and business, but I know accounting does have courses whose outcomes support ethical reasoning. And here are some courses that perhaps support both. So again, the alignment is a way of seeing your course in the context of a student's wider general education. So outcomes you have to have outcomes for everything. Outcomes need to be aligned. And finally, the third thing that isn't changing is outcomes are still providing that framework for our annual assessment planning and activities. So we are still asking ourselves, are we achieving these outcomes? That's still the central question of assessments. The difference is, though, the assessment planning and activities. So instead of having a general roster for data gathering, instead now we have an assessment routine which follows an annual trajectory. Every fall, faculty submit an assessment plan in which they identify some question about student learning and what they're going to do about it, and every spring they update it. Now you do it on a discipline and service basis. So the philosophy department, the nursing department, the dance department, they're going to submit a plan. That could be, if there's more than one of you, and ideally, you'll have a department meeting and you'll say, hey, what are we going to tackle this year? What aspect of student learning are we interested in? You come up with some program, something you think you'll do, and then you update it in the spring. What's the relationship between this and program review? Well, in program review, you in effect summarize what you've been doing. The assessment plans just help you keep track. Let me just bail now and show you an assessment plan. Let me see. Here we are, College Assessment Committee. Here is a nice assessment plan from the Kinesiology, Athletics, Dance department. Now, they're looking at a specific degree program, or a certificate program rather, the Pilates Teacher Training Certificate. So that's the aspect of the program they're looking at, or the program. And then they've got a question, a couple of questions, in fact. Are graduates finding employment? Do they feel ready? And are they registering for other fitness classes? So particularly that first one, that goes to one of the goals of the program, which is to get students ready to enter the workforce. They've explained their rationale. A big part of CTE is preparing graduates for the workforce. That is the ultimate SLO of the entire program. So the SLOs are still providing the framework. They want to know if they're achieving their goals. What's their method? They're going to reach out to alumni over social media. They're going to, I can't resist it. They're going to put together the data they get and see what it tells them. Next steps and timeline, they're probably going to do it sometime this year. And then when they get the results, they'll have an update. Maybe there'll be something they want to change. Maybe there'll be something students feel they wish they had more of. Maybe everything is great. And then in the fall of 19, they'll move on to something else. But that, in effect, is the assessment plan. The idea is you pick any aspect of your program that seems like it needs attention. I mentioned some examples here, but I don't want to put them all in because it makes this presentation too long. But you can do all kinds of different things. Accounting is going to compare the success rates in two different versions of the same course to make sure they're both equally successful. The English department is going to, in fall of 19, we're going to try different strategies to respond to student papers to see if one strategy is more effective than another to help students write better sentences. So there's all kinds of things you can do. The fourth thing that's new, or the fourth feature of the new process, is that we wanted to have stronger emphasis, again, on interdisciplinary collaborations, so that this isn't just about gathering data on your own and then looking at it and making something up. Now here, this is something which isn't just up to the disciplines to do. The College Assessment Committee and the Center for Academic Excellence and Academic Senate, we're all working together to make sure that there are regularly workshops laid on during Flex Day, but also at other times, where faculty can come together and talk about these things. So for instance, in fall of 19, we will have a workshop, probably on August Flex Day, probably in October, probably both. How do you create a good assessment plan? So people can go, if you're a one-person department, you can at least hang out with other people and maybe come up with a shared learning outcome. You might find that you and another person in a different discipline are both worried about student reading, and so you both try something together. In fall of 2020, just as we did last fall of 18, we'll have a lot of program review workshops. What are you going to talk about in program review? What sort of planning do you want to do going forward, and so on. Also, every semester we have at least one workshop focusing on an institutional learning outcome. So we had one in fall and a follow-up in spring. And the idea here is to create an interdisciplinary forum to talk about those shared learning goals like effective communication or critical thinking, and to come up with activities which give faculty a chance to commune and see their work again in context. So here are some FAQs on this process. The first thing is, I've talked about submitting assessment plans, and many people have said, where do we do that? Well, coming soon, not quite finished yet, there will be a SharePoint, let's see here, College Assessment Committee. This was a SharePoint site which will be available to everybody with a district login, or college login. So you won't need to learn a new password or anything, new weird software. It's just a SharePoint site, and you'll see that it comes with folders for assessment plans for instruction, learning center, student services, and then another folder for ILO activities which are not done by disciplines, they're done by organized at the college level. Under the instructional assessment plans, you will see a folder for every discipline. And in each discipline, you will see there's a folder for assessment plans and a folder for your maps. So you can look at, you can keep track of what your, how your courses adhere together and how they support the ILOs. Here's accountants, for instance. This is their ILO map showing which outcomes support which institutional outcomes. So the goal here is to make it an accessible, easy place for everyone to keep their stuff. This is just a repository. It's that way if you leave town, if you've been doing the assessment activity and you leave town, well, everyone else in your department can see what you were doing. And it's easier to get hold of. So that will be where you will submit your assessment plans and any other documents. Where can you find information? We do have a website at the College of San Mateo. If you go to S and look up student learning outcomes, and although it's still a little rusty, it will in the next week or so be completely revamped, and it will have information on how to assess, how to write outcomes, upcoming workshops. It'll have PowerPoints like this that are narrated and all kinds of stuff. If you want more support, or if you want a workshop, some people might think, gee, I'd really like a workshop on how to write a good learning outcome, because it's a bit of a skill. So tell the assessment coordinator, report it out in program review. Program review is going to be used as the sort of spur for more work, ideas for professional development. You may find on the instructional program review, we're asked specifically about interdisciplinary assessments. Now, you may not have been able to do any, it's not the end of the world, but the implication there is that we do want to encourage them as much as possible. If you don't have time or you don't have an opportunity to work with a colleague, go to one of the ILO workshops that we offer, again, every flex day pretty much. If you want to address an aspect of student learning and you don't see that it aligns clearly with any of your learning outcomes, well, I would challenge you to rethink not the question that you have, but your idea of what's aligned with your outcomes. Anything you want students to learn in your class is aligned with your outcomes. It doesn't have to have exact duplicative wording. If it's about student learning that will help them do what they need to do in your class or program, it belongs. Many people have asked, what about TrackDat? To which I say, well, what about it? If you like it and you're using it, go ahead. We're still under contract with them, at least as of right now. It's spring of 19. The assessment plans, however, are required. The TrackDat, if it isn't helpful to you, don't worry about it. Focus on assessment planning. And the final big question is, how can we gather data on every outcome using this model? And the answer is you don't. You focus on what you need to deal with, and you gather data on that. We start not with the need to gather data points and try to find a pattern, which is that one kind of inductive model, but we start with a question we know we have, and we experiment to see what works. And that's our new model for data gathering and for SLO assessment. So if you haven't done it, please complete your assessment plan. Please bring any questions to me if you've got them. And happy assessing.